from where we left off, let's go ahead and add the other UI components that we want to display once this sign in button fades out. So here below this animated view, let's create another animated view. Let's style that view by again giving it a height, which is equal to the screen height divided by 3. But what we want now is to position that view absolutely below this view so that it's hidden to start with, but then we can change its z-index and animate it in. Here we'll pass in style sheet, turn absolute fill, set its top value to null so that the height overrides it. We'll only have a left, bottom and right value of 0, and inside that, whatever buttons we put in, we want to justify that content to the center. Now inside this, we want to have two text inputs, one for the email and one for the password, and then we want to have a sign in button. So let's just go ahead and import text input here from React Native. Come back down here and let's pass in that text input. Inside this, the first one will have a placeholder of email. We'll style this by giving it a styles.textInput. We'll just set that up shortly, and we'll pass in a placeholder text color equal to black. Let's just duplicate this text input, and the second one will be password. Now let's go ahead and add the styles. So here we'll add in text input, set the height to 50, give it a border radius of 25, give it a border width of 0.5, a margin horizontal of 20 to space it out horizontally, give it a padding left for the text inside of 10, and let's give it a margin vertical of 5 to space it out from each other, and we'll just set the border color to a slightly lighter version of the black. Here this border width should actually be 0.5. And as we see right now, we're getting that email and password on top of these sign in and sign in with Facebook buttons. We'll just fix that. For now, below the text input, let's create another animated.view. This will be the sign in button that displays once these two swipe out. So we'll say style equal to styles.button. And inside that, we'll pass in a text. Let's style that text by giving it a font size of 20, a font weight of bold, and that text will say sign in. Let's save that. And now here to this animated.view that we just created, let's give it a z-index of say -1. So as we expected, that content has moved below this particular view. But we also want to hide this view first and then show it later. So let's also give it an opacity of 0 for now. And we see it all gets hidden. Now what we need to do is we actually need to pass in animated values here so that we change that according to the button opacity. So for the z-index, this dot text input z-index. For the opacity, we'll just say this dot text input opacity. And we'll also give it a transform because you want it to slide in. We'll say translate y, and we'll set that to this dot text input y. Now let's go ahead and create these three values. So here in our constructor again, let's say this dot text input z-index. I'm just going to copy this, interpolate. Starting from 0 to 1, when the button opacity is 0, we want the z-index to be 1, and when the button is visible, we want the z-index to be -1. Similarly, we'll say this dot text input y, paste in the interpolate. When the button opacity is 0, we want it to be 0 where its current position is. Otherwise, we want it to move out by 100. Lastly, we have this dot text input opacity. When it's 0, we want it to be 1, and when it's 1, we want it to be 0. Let's save that out. Now let's test this out. As you see that it slides in nicely. Let's retry that. And here for the sign in button, I'm just going to add some more styles to it. Let's just go ahead and add a box shadow to it. So we'll say shadow offset. I'll just give it a width of 2 and a height of 2. Let's give it a shadow color of black, and let's give it a shadow opacity of 0.2. Let's save that. And now as you can see, it looks much better. Now let's set up that cross button so that we can reanimate it back to its original position. So here in our bottom animated view, above our text input, I'm going to create that cross. Here let's pass in a tap gesture handler, within which we have an animated.view. And since we want that cross to be rotating when it animates in, let's just use an animated.text, and we'll style that, give it a font size of 15. The text we want is just an X. There we see we get it. Let's go ahead and style that. So let's call the style for that styles.close button. Come down here. Let's set up that close button. I'm just going to move that above the text input. Let's give it a height of 40, a width of 40, a background color of white, a border radius of 20, and here let's just enable hot reloading. Let's give it a background color of white. Let's align items to the center. Let's justify contents to the center as well. Let's position it absolutely. Give it a top of -20, which is half the height. And let's give it a left position of width divided by 2 minus half the width of the cross. There we see it in the center, exactly where we want it. And again, we'll just add this offset shadow to it. And save that out. There it looks much better. Now let's come back to this button. And here, we wanted to have an animated value of rotate. So here let's pass in a transform. It'll have a rotate. We'll pass in this dot rotate cross. Let's go ahead and set up this value. So here we'll say this dot rotate cross is equal to, again, paste in the interpolate. So when the button opacity is 0, we want it to be at 180, and when it's at 1, we want it to rotate to 360. Let's save that. And as you see, we're getting this error here. So as you remember, we can't just pass in 180 here. We actually need to pass in degrees as well. But we can't really do that here directly when you're using Reanimated. For that, we're going to use something known as concat to concatenate it together from Reanimated. So just extract concat from animated. Come back here to our rotate cross. And here, we'll just use concat. Along with the rotate cross, we'll concatenate degrees. Now save that out. Refresh this. Click on sign in. And as you see, that animates in nicely. Now let's set up the action when this cross button is clicked. So for that, in the tap gesture handler of the cross button, we'll add a onHandler state change, and we'll point this to a method called this.onCloseState. Let's go ahead and set up this method. So below onState changed, we'll say this.onCloseState. Let's copy the event from here, paste that in here. So again, we want to detect when the end of this click has occurred. When that occurs, we want to change this button opacity now from 0 to 1. Let's save that, refresh the app. We see that it animates in. When we click on the cross, we see it animates out. Now the last thing left for us to do is to actually add that curve to our background image. For that, we'll be using react-native-svg. So let's go ahead and install that. So we'll say yarn add react-native-svg. Once that's installed, we'll have to make a few changes to our UI. Firstly, here on top, instead of importing image from React Native, we'll import it from react-native-svg. So here, let's say import svg. Then we want image, we want circle, and we want clip path from react-native-svg. Shortly, we'll be digging into these. Come down here in our animated view, where we had passed an image. Let's wrap that image into an SVG. So we'll say SVG. Let's give it a height, which is equal to the height of the screen. Let's give it a width, which is equal to the width of the screen. Let's save that. We're not really getting the image there as of now. So let's change up the styles of our image. Instead of passing in this style here, we're going to directly pass in the width and the height. So we'll say width, set that to the width of the screen, pass in the height, set that to the height of the screen. Instead of source, we need to actually pass in href here. And if we save that, we see we're getting our image. Next, we need to pass in something known as preserve aspect ratio. We want the center of the SVG on the X and Y axis to be aligned to the center of the device. So we'll use something known as X mid and Y mid. And then we'll pass in slice. If we don't use slice, we'll see that it gets contained in the viewport. But using slice, make sure that the image takes up the complete screen. Now let's try our animation out. And as we see, it works the same way as it was working earlier. But we wanted to have this curve here at the bottom. For that, we'll create a clip path. So here above our image, let's create the clip path. We need to give the clip path an ID. Let's call it clip. And inside this, we'll use a circle to clip it. We want the radius of the circle to be equal to the height. And now let's go ahead and add this clip path to our image. So here we'll say clip path. And here we'll access the ID we set up using URL, pass in the hash along with the name of the ID. Let's save that. And as you can see, we get this curve here at the bottom. But as of now, the circle is assuming that the radius is starting from the 0, 0 position on the top left. So let's change the center position by using CX and set that to the width divided by 2. And there we see that looks much better. We're getting the curve where we want it. But we obviously want the curve to start from outside the screen so that it's only visible when the animation slides in. For that, let's give the parent SVG an increased height by 50. And let's also increase the radius by 50. Accordingly, we'll also increase the height of the image by 50. Now there we see that the curve is starting from outside the screen. When we click on sign in, it slides in, but now this animation is messed up. So let's change up our BGY. And here, instead of going directly to height divided by 3, we wanted to go up another further 50. Now let's refresh that. And as we see, that looks perfect. Press the cross button and you see it animates back in. And there our animation is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Please like, share and subscribe. And thank you for watching.